Welcome to Local Gods. My name is Marco Liu.
And I'm James Han.
And today we have the honor and privilege of having David Suh on the show.
Ooh.
A lot of you guys might recognize David from TikTok, from Instagram, basically anywhere viral media pops off. He is a photographer, portrait photographer specifically, content creator, and just all like Korean American too, right?
Korean American.
Yeah.
The coolest tattoos I seen, bro.
Hey, you got some cool stuff. Wait, Marco, do you have tattoos?
I'm not going to answer that on camera. I'm not going to answer that on camera, but yeah.
What does that mean?
Did you guys?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
You guys both have like? Did you guys both get your tattoos in recent years, or?
I got mine about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Same.
Because to me, at least from my layman's eyes, there's a similar aesthetic in regards to like just like the vibe of it and the lines.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Mine's a lot of like line work, and I have some microrealism. I noticed you have a decent amount of microrealism, I think. Yeah, it's dope, bro. Very inspired by his tats.
I'm still going to go back to your answer. I love how you sort of diverge.
I grew up a Southern Baptist kid, man, so I can't answer that question directly because at the risk of eternal damnation. Not really. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Thanks, John.
My theology is not that whack.
That's crazy, bro.
But it's like, let's move on.
I think it has to do with like mom things, you know, like
What?
moms and.
We love our moms.
We do.
So
It's Mother's Day.
Oh yeah, it's true.
So when it comes down to it, I think the first thing that comes to mind for me is like, why do both of you guys, specifically like from your experience, why is artistic endeavors such a big thing? Thank you, Richie. Appreciate you, Richie.
Thanks, brother.
Richie just dropped off some coffee here for us. But
Cheers, bro.
Water, cheers. But why do you guys think in Korean culture the arts in its broadest extents are so readily accepted? Because a typical joke among my Chinese Taiwanese friends and myself is that Chinese folks of any type of extraction, whether you're from Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, Taiwan, anywhere, Chinese folks only value art, generally speaking, if there's a commercial aspect to it, right? So for a lot of kids, if they want to go to school to be a filmmaker, or if they want to go to school to be a sculptor or architect, probably more specifically, that is considered more acceptable than like, oh, I want to be a painter, or I want to be a musician, or
A painter wouldn't count because that's still utilitarian. You can put paintings in houses to make it look beautiful.
it is, but like the commercial aspect of it. It's not so much the utility. And honestly, I feel like if you've been to a lot of Chinese houses, the art, it's hit or miss. Right? Some of it might be straight up from like Crate and Barrel. Thanks for the laugh, John Na. But racist. But yeah,
Korean if you want to. Yeah.
What I've always noticed is like Koreans generally, like any type of artistic endeavor, a lot of Korean parents might still not be down, or a lot of just Koreans as a whole may not understand, but they'll at least entertain it. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Did your parents entertain it?
Definitely not.
My
Really?
parents kept suggesting, "Hey, you should be a real estate agent. Hey, you should be an anchor. You should,
Right.
you know, because I'm in music, so
You're in music. Okay.
yeah,
okay.
they were totally like,
Yeah, same here. That's why I'm like, hold on. Before I answer that, do I think that about Koreans in general?
Well, what I do notice is like, for instance, there's a lot more Korean tattoo artists, way more than Chinese tattoo artists in general. Obviously different in the home countries, right? Because they're the majority culture. Like in China, if you're a tattoo artist, you're probably just like a cool kid, right? Especially in Southwest China, right? But I see Korean tattoo artists in Korea, here, everywhere. And it's like, it's not something that they're not even kind of like obscuring or saying, oh, this is what I do on the side. It's like, no, this is what I do.
Right.
And you don't see that nearly as much among Chinese folks. So why, do you feel like there's a general appreciation of the arts that is like deeper within Korean culture?
I mean, in Korea, I think tattoos are still a bit taboo,
Yeah,
traditionally speaking.
sure.
And I wonder, because it's so Like everyone's so suppressed, I guess, with that creativity and that expression. When they do find a way to express it, it's just so much louder and like bolder. Kind of like, so I went to a Christian school my entire life.
What denomination, if I may ask? Because that determines a lot.
The Hill songs.
Okay.
Like a Protestant.
Just evangelical, happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring the money.
So it's like, so I see my fellow classmates coming out of that.
Oh yeah.
And it's either like they full swing the opposite way, or they like full swing like more Christianity. So I wonder if it's a little bit of that, where if they have a chance to have a taste of creative expression, something that they were told not to do.
Forbidden fruit, almost.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, that's my theory.
Yeah.
You just came back from Korea. So.
I mean, yeah, it's true. Oh man, I don't know. Like, I can't really speak for people in Korea, but I don't know. We've talked about this. I feel like a lot of Korean Americans or Koreans who grow up in America, there's more of an entrepreneurial spirit among our parents and what we've seen. So, my dad, he's a business owner, has owned a dry cleaners my whole life. And all of his friends own liquor stores and own different type of businesses, So being entrepreneurial is kind of in our lifeblood. Like, it's at least the way I've seen life to be done. So I don't know, something about finding a craft or finding something we really love and doing it our own way is kind of like built in.
I think that it's the second part, man. Because like I would say, if you know Chinese people for real, Chinese people are very entrepreneurial. In fact, they're the entrepreneurs of like all of Asia, because you see Chinese people everywhere, like starting business and all that. But what I've noticed is that there is a huge return on investment element to it, where I've noticed that there is this sense of, I don't know if it's like personal or family pride among Koreans, where it's like they will brass knuckle it. They will like just go all in, even if in the short term or medium term, there might not be that much gain, but if they believe in it hard enough. Whereas like Chinese people are agnostic about money, man. Like whatever will make you money, they will go to, right? So there's that element.
But that's how I feel about my people, though.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah. I look at more so my girlfriend is Filipino, and what she's always saying is, dude, why are Korean Americans always killing it in business in America? And we don't see a lot of that in the Filipino American scene. And for me, I look at actually like Korea and Japan, where to me, Japan is so much more about the craft and just like honing the heck out of the thing.
Absolutely.
That's very fair.
And so, from my eyes, detached from, is this a lucrative thing or not? They just get so good at it.
Yeah.
And then in Korea, just seeing the amount of cafes that get built up and built down, it's really, I mean, it's the whole, like, you save it on TikTok, and oh my gosh, I'm going in 6 months, and it's gone.
Actually, that's true.
Yeah, because
you probably saw that.
Yeah, that happened to me.
Did you guys catch the one YouTube video about how Korea is like dying?
Oh, because they don't have children? They're not smashing and producing?
Well, like a part of that story is the economic boom.
Yeah.
Right? And the pressure to succeed. And I think Koreans carry a lot of that when they come here as well, that entrepreneurial mindset. Yeah.
I think it's kind of a mix, and none of us here are Filipino, right? But what I've noticed is that among my Filipino friends and just Filipino families I grew up with or saw, there's definitely less of a like pie in the sky type of perspective. Like there's definitely a lot more practicality, where it's like they may be a DJ or they might be on dance teams, but they'll have that nursing job. They'll have that OT-PT job to make sure they hold things down for their families. And I tend to notice, like in regards to young people getting like home ownership, you'll see a lot of younger millennial age Filipino Americans buying a first house sooner. But it might not be in the best neighborhood or the nicest house, but they'll lock that stuff down. Whereas I think a lot of East Asians have like a lot of pie in the sky, like keeping up with the Changs and the Kims and the Chos, where, if they got a house in Irvine, I need to get like a 2-3 bedroom down there too, even though I'm paying up the butt to do it, right?
Yeah.
But speaking of which, like in regards to commerce, like you're killing it, at least from what we observe. Because like I remember just doing my research, and your client list is backed up like half a year up. Like what? Tell us the truth. Is this something insane? Like yeah,
So
2 years?
now I'm actually scaling back my one-on-one clients.
Oh.
And it's this battle of where do I invest my time. I know my one-on-one clients will always be there.
Yeah.
There is a wait list there, and I can always tap into that. But at the same time, I want to see what else I can do, right? Like, can I go into more digital products? Can I go more into like entertainment in Hollywood? And that's like if I look at it that way, then me doing one-on-one client shoots isn't the most efficient use of my time, because I serve them once and it's like, okay, great, they're better off, and I have my cash, but then like where is that building to? And it's only building to, I guess I'll take more clients. So it's a bit of like an entrepreneurship thing of like, where should I spend my time? But
That's a big brain. Like you'd want to have problems like that where
yeah.
your skill set and what you're offering is so in demand that you're like, I need to chill on that so I can do what I want to do.
I mean, you got your bread and butter, so that's good to know. That's
Yeah.
good to have.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I think when people see your content, whether it's on TikTok or Instagram, they can tell that you really enjoy it. You enjoy the personal interaction. You take relish in helping people develop their confidence and their body articulation and all that.
Yeah.
So what do you enjoy the most right now? Like as you're doing this kind of like weighing out of what makes the most sense for you?
Yeah, it still is the people aspect. It still is the serving another human being and photographing them, posing them. But there's so much more that goes into it. I'm sure we'll dive into it. But I was telling my team, because from one end, they're like, maybe David doesn't want to work as much, you know? But I'm like, no, I want to work. It's just I've come to like understand my like refine my palate, if I may say, right? I'm like, I really enjoy just working with people. And sometimes like my creativity is very emotional based, right? So like if I'm not doing well, then I'm like, I can't just turn it on in front of the camera. I tell my team, if I'm like, no matter what mood I'm in, if you just throw me someone in need, I will like go 200%.
Got it.
And just like help the heck out of them, bring my best energy. So that's still what I enjoy doing a lot, just helping others, being of service. Funny enough, I took my first Enneagram test because of my friend Leo. He was like, you gotta take this. And him and his girlfriend both guessed that I'll be Enneagram type 2.
Okay.
And,
Do you know what that means? I've never taken it myself.
I don't really know, but I know a lot of my friends at church are interested.
Yeah.
They tell me
I was gonna say like there's a definitely there's some type of pseudo Christian church element to it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what does that mean? Enneagram 2 for us.
Type
Philistines.
2 really is just like being of service to others, like taking
Oh, okay.
care of
So it makes
others,
a lot of
and
sense.
I find a lot of my fulfillment and purpose in being of value to someone else. That's still like, I guess, tying it all back. I like being of service to others.
Story checks out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think there's a lot of what I think both of us have been noticing a lot, and probably you before me, is that the comments that people give on like specifically viral posts or posts that just get a lot of attention, they can be really nice or really crazy, and sometimes a mix of both.
Like in general, like viral posts in general.
Yeah, and I think I bring this up because being an Asian American photographer in this very public space, some of your comments end up being really crazy and sweet as well, because it's like people are seeing themselves in you, or they're realizing things about themselves as they're watching it, but then they're also like nitpicking a lot of things. Like, how do you deal with that?
Wait, I'm surprised. What kind of other examples you can remember?
I just remember seeing comments saying like, well, they feel like you're only singling out Asians for whatever reason, and then there are other comments
Maybe
that
there's a Facebook video that you didn't see.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
maybe.
I mean, like you have a lot of content, right?
I like to believe I have a very wholesome community and supporters. I think my followers are also very diverse too. It's a very inclusive space. That's what I like to believe.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are like a few if I were to really dig in. But it's been a while since I've seen comments like that.
What do you observe then from those interactions where like what hits home for you the most when you see particular comments?
Oh yeah. What kind of comment makes you like feel so warm and like feel so fulfilled?
Yeah, I think I've received all sorts of comments, but again, just knowing that I've helped them in a certain way. A lot of this stuff is very like there's a mental block to a lot of this, even if it's the surface level of David, I want to look good in my selfie.
Yeah,
I've never looked good, and just helping someone get over that hump. And I mean, it can go real deep. It can go real deep of like, yeah, it might start with, oh, I can't get good selfies. And then it can start going into, oh, my friends can get good selfies. So why can't I get good selfies? Is it a pose issue? Or is it a me issue? Is it a DNA issue? Am I just born this way? Am I unphotogenic? And then that belief starts to like affect other things as well. I mean, they're not thinking through all of that, but it does show up in their bodies and how they like identify. So, knowing that I've helped someone remove that mind block and do something about it. And I think a lot of it is giving them the sense of like aspiration and belief that they can try. And yeah, so when they try, I think typically good things happen. And the hearing that it worked out, I think that makes me really happy.
I think you tap into something that is difficult for people to unpack because there's this element of like negative self-belief, right? You'll see that a lot online. But then there's also this element of objective aesthetics, like symmetrical features are generally considered more attractive, and like just mainstream society tends to uplift certain looks more than others. How do you kind of navigate that? Because like what I keep on getting from you is that you like telling people the truth, but you also like to refocus their attention on things that they probably should pay more attention to, as opposed to like taking their attention away from things that like really bothers them, because that doesn't really help them. It doesn't help you as a photographer either, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like my experiences have truly brought me to do what I do, but there's things that we can't change, right? The societal beauty standards, the things that society deems beautiful or pleasing to look at. And we can't choose who they uplift and put on the banners and promote in the movies and all that kind of stuff. And we can't change that. And then there's us. If we don't, a lot of us don't end up fitting into that, because to meet these standards is very, very tough. You really have to be like born into that.
Yeah.
So what does that make the rest of us? Does that mean we just hide in the shadows and never believe we are wanted or attractive or valued? So I think it's a lot of that story has been about me doing something for myself first and then being able to help others, right? Like, what can we do about that? That is a reality. And what can I change in the things I can change?
Is that like a dialogue you had within yourself? Like, damn, I'm trying to look better, but why can't I hit this idea or this picture that I have? Is it possible for me to get there? Like, have you had that dialogue yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, having grown up, having my standards set to be very like the traditional masculine, right? The Chris Hemsworth, the imagery of like filling up a tank top.
Yeah.
Right? The big guns, ripped, the hair. Like if I imagine coming out of like the ocean.
The mane.
Like right? Like like an ocean or something, then they whip their hair back and all that gorgeous beauty.
Yeah.
So that's what I grew up with. But then the reality was I'd be playing basketball in high school or volleyball, and like I can't fill up my jersey. Then I see my other peers too, and they look good. And I'm like, oh man, then having the need to make up for it in other ways. Maybe it's like, oh, maybe I need to be funnier or louder in this way. Until and I didn't really have to care so much about that until I left a really long college relationship. It's like a 5-year relationship. And I feel like at that point, we were living together for like 4 years. Everyone saw us as like mom and dads pretty much. And we lived all of our life together. And when that disappeared, then I'm like, oh man, who am I? And for the first time, I'm going on online dating. And as a Korean American, I feel like that was an interesting experience too for the very first time. And then little doubts started to like seep into my head too. Like, am I not matching because I'm Asian? Or am I not matching because I'm just not good enough? Am I not good looking enough? Is it my pictures? Is it my body? Like, I started like second guessing all these different things. So one of the things I started doing was starting to like work out a little bit. And I was like, okay, let me work out. Maybe like boost my confidence a little bit. Maybe if I like try to achieve this like dream body of mine, maybe that will change something. And then I think it was like one of my birthdays, I decided to do like a birthday suit photo shoot.
You're wild for that,
I know, it's
bro.
pretty wild.
You're so wild.
But I mean, here's the thing. I have a whole photo studio, right? I've been serving clients for a long time. So I was like...
Oh, so you're a photographer this whole time too?
Yeah.
While you're entering the dating scene again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like around the quarantine time. It's not like I can't even photograph any clients. So I was like, you know what? Let me at least just like photograph myself. I think for the first time in the mirror, I was like, oh, like I look better.
Yeah.
So I got this like sense of confidence. I can tackle this thing. And then when I started taking those photos, I just had like a blanket or something, and I was just like photographing my upper body. And I absolutely hated those photos. Like the only person that I would see was that high school kid who couldn't fill up that jersey. And I would just like beat myself down. Like it's a very vulnerable thing to like put yourself in front of the camera. Yeah, there's no one else, but it's like being almost naked. You just have a cloth around you. And I went into it with high hopes too. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna like make myself look good. Maybe I'll get better dating profile pictures, whatever it is. And then all I could see was that kid again. And I just kept beating myself down. Yeah.
Wow. So how... I guess, what did you learn in the process afterwards? Because it's interesting to see you, like, hear you say all that. And then, at least to James and I'm sure, like, we see a confident business owner, a man about himself. Like, we see something very different from what you're describing. So, like, what was the train of thought that help you grow out of that, and how would you like advise other people? Because I'd imagine like that's the reason why you have the following you do, because people see themselves in you and they aspire to have the self-image that you have for themselves.
I think at that point I came to a place of almost giving up, and then I said, I don't want to take this as like the reality in a sense. And I also like I've been doing this. I've been a photographer for about 3-4 years at that time. And
when you took the self-portrait,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. And this is me being a portrait photographer. I had a little like Sacramento studio, and I was serving my clients, right? And these were like not cheap sessions still. I think my clients would spend anywhere between $4,000 to $6,000 for like a 2-hour photo shoot with me. And they were coming to me for the same reason. They're not like Hollywood stars. They're your like girl next door, your mom next door, and they want to feel good for themselves. And this is something I've been doing for 3-4 years. And all of a sudden, for the first time photographing myself, I was like, I would never say these things I'm saying to myself to my clients.
Right.
Like I wouldn't be charging the amount I do if I can you imagine?
Yeah.
An insult session.
It's like a new kink or something.
Wow.
But I was like, what am I doing to myself? And so one end I was like, I don't want this to define me right now. And I also, this is just a bad look on me. This is terrible. And I said, okay, let's just keep trying just a bit more. Let me be a little bit more patient, right? If my client says, David, I look fat here. David, I don't like my arms here, which I get all the time. I can't throw down the towel and say, no, you don't look that way.
Yeah.
Right? And instead, there's a sense of creating a space for them emotionally where I'm saying, okay, it's okay. And then also being proactive and saying, how can we change things up? So there's a sense of emotional skill sets, and then also the technical skill sets of like posing. So I was like, okay, let me do that for myself. And I tried different lighting, I tried different poses to show off the things I wanted to show off. And if there's things that I was more insecure about, then I would say, okay, what can I do about that? If I'm not ready to show that, I don't have to show that.
If you have like love handles, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, anything. Truly.
Shut that out first.
Well, no, it's like, I don't know, just like cover it or like pose it, you know, like if you don't want to show that yet.
Yeah.
Like and okay.
I think it was just taking a lot of that control for myself. Right? Just like understanding that I can do something about it. And just like you said, like I didn't know all the answers, but I could try things. Like I could either just bring up the fabric a little higher if it was my love handles. Maybe it was shifting the lighting in a certain way so it's more shaded. Maybe it wasn't putting my stomach forward to say, hey, look at my stomach. Maybe it was to show off more like my arm definition that I felt more proud about.
Yeah.
And then after trying for a little bit, I got one of the most beautiful photos I've seen of myself. For me to say, damn, I look beautiful.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I think that was a big change for me. And then I had to, it's one of those like airplane things where, you know, help yourself before you can help others. And I, like, once I went through that, I was so like, I had this conviction, knowing that, oh yeah, I can do this. Now I can like go out even more with such a stronger belief and say, I can help you as well. You can do this for yourself too. I'm just here as a guide.
Yeah.
This is as close to a superhero origin story of a normal person that I've heard, because it's like you're taking us on this full-on journey since childhood into becoming who you are now. And it's like it's inspiring to hear. And I think what strikes me is there's a true philosophical element to this, right? Because I think I'm sure for both men and women, there's a lot of people that they don't even think about portraiture or photos, or like it's almost like a phobia for them because they feel like there's nothing that can be done.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Would you say that I feel like I kind of know the answer, but would you say there are people that are not photogenic and they just have to deal? Or like, how would you answer that question according to all your experiences? Because it feels like you've explored it within yourself as well as with so many others. So how would you explain that?
Yeah, who's paying?
You look great, honey.
Look. It's like okay. Let me describe this one concept as we talk about, like, as we joke about that.
Sure.
Because I'm not paid to tell someone that they look beautiful.
Sure.
Right. In fact, I think a lot of photographers are taught that.
Oh.
And they're taught to see whoever they're photographing as their muse and to get inspired and then create something that the artist themselves finds beautiful, right? Or to tell them, oh, you look beautiful, darling, all that kind of stuff. And I bring up this analogy of like an artist and a designer. And I've become really passionate about this because I went to school for design. I don't remember much, but I remember this.
Okay. Great.
Do you guys know the difference between art and design by any chance?
Is this concept of like one's more practical or no? I don't know. I don't know the concept.
No,
I was like trying to understand
it's almost there. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
really? Like, okay.
Yeah. So art doesn't need reason to be created, right? It's an expression. It also doesn't need to be justified, right? Like if someone creates something, it doesn't have to be good or anything. You just put it out there. And when someone sees it, the artist also doesn't have to be there and justify and explain it. And this is why this is it. This is the way it is. But then design, on the other hand, always needs purpose. Because design is always inherently solving a problem.
Right.
So on like one example of a good design is a door. And if a door is really well designed, it solves a problem so well that it's almost invisible. Right? It's like you know how to push without really having to think about it.
Yeah.
Or like the sidewalk.
Yeah, exactly. There's design in that. And yes, art and design blends all the time.
Right.
But if we really break it down, those are the main differentiators between art and design. And going back to how photographers are taught a lot, they're taught to be artists. They're taught to be behind that camera, use it as a tool, just like painting, and say, oh, this is beautiful to my eyes. Let me capture it in the way I see beautiful. It almost doesn't matter what the other person thinks.
Like the model. Doesn't matter what the model thinks.
Right.
Oh.
And for the most part, this is great. I'm not saying one's better than the other. But
yeah.
You know, to make it simpler, it's like a landscape photographer, right? Like it doesn't matter what the landscape thinks or feels.
Correct.
They're just capturing something so beautiful.
Right.
And this happens a lot too, right? When they're capturing photos of people. And they say, oh, this is beautiful to me.
Right.
But then for me, I gear towards being a designer of a photographer.
Wow.
Where whether I like it or not could just go into the trash. Like, it doesn't matter if I like it or not. Like, if, Marco, I took a photo for you, and you said, this is the most beautiful photo I've ever seen of myself, am I going to say you're never going to see this again because it doesn't fit my standards of an artist?
Damn.
And destroy it, you know?
Yeah. And destroy it. That's crazy. Yeah.
Right, because
Yeah,
I'm
for
like,
sure.
because artists can get that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Not good enough for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like no one should ever see this photo. So for me, I like the value of a photo comes down to who I'm creating it for and designing it for them, which means asking a lot of questions and saying, what is the purpose of this image? And how can I create it for you? How can I design it for you? Yeah.
Man, that's it's making my wheels spin because I think you're getting to this. You're kind of putting a finger on something I've been thinking about for like a decade at this point. I've been in music for a long time. I'm an artist and songwriter from time to time, and I think about this idea a lot, but I never put it necessarily in this like academic framework of art versus design. Yeah. So for me, like music for a long time when I was in my younger years, I saw it purely as art. I didn't need an explanation. And I was in the Christian music scene for a long time. And so there was inherently, I guess, some design elements there too. There was like a need that it was serving.
Definitely problems trying to be solved, right?
Yeah. But like for me, I mean, I still have my beliefs, but like I shifted over to just being general market some years ago, you know, damn near almost a decade at this point.
Sheesh.
You know, almost.
Wow.
And the past decade of not being in this scene anymore, I've been trying to figure out like for myself, am I still an artist or am I a designer? Like, how do I see my music? And I don't really have an exact answer of what I want it to be, but I've definitely moved my mindset. It's definitely less, I'm only an artist, to more, am I an artist and a designer? Like, I'm kind of in that phase right now of my career. And I don't know, something about, I just want to hear you talk more because I'm like, man, I feel like there's something in there for me as well. So it's cool to hear that.
Beautiful, yeah. That's a lovely like chapter to be in. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
I think from a human level, and maybe you can speak on this too, it's like what I would typically advise younger folks that in some type of mentorship or some type of like, I feel some type of obligation or duty to just do right by them and like advise them.
For sure, yeah.
I'll often tell them that the way other people see you may not be the way you want to see yourself. And I think for a lot of people, they grow up like, oh, I need to please my parents. I need to please my teachers, or I need to please my boss, or I need to be pleasing to my friends, because if I'm not cool with them, who am I going to be cool with? And then I'm nobody, right? But what I hear from what you're saying is like in that aspect of essentially designing yourself, like you have to take the onus and initiative to know who you are and what you're about, right?
Yes.
And it's like, it's a higher level of thinking that most people in their regular jobs and their family lives, there's just too much going on.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a big part of what you're doing is you're trying to help people to slow down and be like, hey, let's...
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been really getting into the world of somatics. And somatics is pretty much, it's in the world of psychology. A lot of therapists use somatic practices. Somatics is pretty much understanding that our mind and body is distinguished. And many times it's kind of like what you're talking about, where we go through life and we're thinking a lot. When we go through, whether it's like stressful situations, it can be traumatic or not, whatever it is, we use our head to try to get out of it.
Yeah.
But then it's also realizing, oh, what about our body? And things are going, like we're going through life so fast, especially in LA, on our phones, social media, Hollywood, all that kind of stuff. Like everything is just being shoved to us. And like we don't know how to like deal with it. Our body doesn't know how to deal with it. So we just try to logically get through it, which isn't the healthiest thing.
Yeah.
We either get dismissive or we just get in denial.
Right.
Not good. But a lot of somatics is about slowing down. It's about checking in with our body. And as you said earlier, photos can be this like traumatic experience for a lot of people. I think a lot of people have traumas with photos.
Yeah.
And to me, whenever I see people freeze up, I'm like, oh, there's something that they've experienced in the past. It doesn't have to be that crazy. It can just be the repeating of mom's voice saying, straighten up, right? Like smile. And those kind of things, it affects how we show up in our photos. Why do we feel like, oh, like I gotta be perfect right now? And I see that also show up in different ways in their bodies. Like their pinkies come up, or like their like toes like tense up.
Whoa.
And it happens so many times where I'm like, I pose my client and I say, hey, take a look at your pinky real quick. And they're like, what the fuck?
Probably they're not even thinking
never
about
even
it.
thought of that.
Yeah.
And I have to like actually help them breathe. Like I'm like, you have to breathe right now.
God, you're like a low-key therapist, bro.
Yeah.
When you're there.
So it's like a unconscious muscle response that they're doing.
Yes,
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's in our bodies, right? Like that's how our bodies have almost protected us, I guess.
Yeah.
In the past.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. I've done a lot of photo shoots over the years, and it's been very difficult for me. But you know, before I discovered your videos, like I had to do similar processes. Like, damn, why do I feel so like unaccepting of my body? You know, there's a lot of like self-acceptance I had to go through. And when I saw your videos, I think probably like several years ago, it helped me to like kind of get an understanding that, oh, maybe it's not just me. Maybe it's just like I need some practical poses or things to just like feel more confident in who I am. Because in real life, I like how I look. But when it always came to still photos, I was just like, I don't know. It was always this big mystery, you know? And hearing like everything that you're talking about, like I recently did a photo shoot, like I think it was like several months ago, where I was like, you know what? People are always playing the kind of music they want to play. But during my photo shoot, I want to play the music I like that actually keeps me zen and chill.
Yeah.
So I turned on like a Mac Ayers playlist, you know, because I listen to that whenever I zen out.
Yeah.
And it was like the most chill, fun photo shoot I've done in a long time.
Nice.
And I realized like maybe that has to do something with like somatics, because I try to take ownership of the environment. It's like, well, I already get kind of nervous from my experiences in the past. Let me try to control the environment and do what I can to set myself up for success.
Yeah.
And I wonder if is that something you also play with when you're with your clients? Like, shit, maybe it's the playlist. Like,
yeah.
What are you feeling? You know, like
it's literally the whole.
It's
like,
all of that, right?
All the senses, like this all 6 senses.
Yeah.
Like from the studio and the way it's designed, it's very zenned out, if I may say too. Right.
Okay.
It's very zenned out. There's literally a custom fountain flowing with water. As
What? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Can we visit sometime?
Please.
Man.
Oh,
and I'd
shit.
love to show you too, like
Yeah.
what it feels like to truly like just like hopefully step into your body. Right? Because it's just a simple thought of like, what happens when you're around your most loved people? What happens when you're around your most supportive people? Right? When you get to just be yourself.
Like not in a photo studio, just like when you're hanging at home.
Yeah,
Imagine that environment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And where you can just relax and not feel like you have to pretend. And, you know, to take that example further, like put yourself in a scene that you don't like being at.
Okay.
And for me, that's the club. I don't like being at the club.
Yeah.
But the people who I'm with can really change that. They can make me feel safe in that scene. And all of a sudden, I can be really myself. I'm like, I'm dancing, all this kind of stuff. But
That's
most times I'm like, dude, I don't like this place.
Right.
Right? So like you said, James, it's like, you know certain things about yourself. You've come to a place where it's like, oh, I like how I look. I like the person that I bring out every day. But why is there that disconnect when I get in front of the camera? I think a lot of people feel that.
Totally. Yeah.
And it's that feeling of needing to pretend. That feeling of, oh, like I gotta be more than how I usually am.
Yeah.
And, you know, as you start tensing up, right? Like the little pinkies, the shoulders, all these kind of things, and we don't breathe. No wonder we look tense, right? So it really is about that. It really is about creating that space where you can be comfortable in your body, slow down. And then once you get to that place, it's such an easier climb up that hill. And then you start applying some like skill sets, right? Like posing, lighting, and photography, art direction. But then I think one of the most helpful things we can do for ourselves in front of the camera, where we don't have a lot of control, we can't see ourselves, we're not the director, is just to help ourselves slow down and be in our body and say, oh, okay, I feel good. If there's one thing I can do, is tell myself that I'm more than enough. I can just sit into my body and I'm good.
Yeah, it's better than saying, I'm ugly, I'm fat. You know, you want to say, I mean,
counterintuitive.
yeah, bro, because I know some people, I'm not quite there. I'm not like that negative, but I've met people that are oddly very negative about themselves.
Yeah.
Dude, that's me. I published a video about that just a few weeks ago, and it was really well received. I've put on a lot of weight in the last 2 years, and again, I might not look like it, and I wonder, like, for people watching at home too, if you're like, wait, but he doesn't look like it, David. Like
like you're trolling them, or like
I see a lot of people
humble bragging.
I see a lot of people like reject those kind of things, and I see that in photography too.
Interesting.
When like friends take photos for one another, or it might be boyfriends and girlfriends, whatever it is, and the girlfriend says, "Oh, like I look big here," and the boyfriend, all he can do is say, "No, you don't." And they just,
yes, you do, baby girl.
Yeah. So like, I want people to like realize, like, yes, you can look at somebody and it might not match how they see themselves, but you have to also create space for how they see themselves. But anyway, that's a little bit of a tangent.
It's almost like a balancing act, right? Because
it really is.
You want to be, there's a truth element to it, authenticity, but you also don't want to, kind of like how you were saying, like you would never talk to your clients a certain way, right? So like that finesse element to it, right?
Yeah, and I think that's where like couples fight a lot when it comes to like photo taking.
Like couples photos or taking each other?
Oh, like taking like the classic stereotype of like the guy who doesn't like taking photos, taking a photo for his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And it's the whole like, babe, I don't look good. Why do you keep taking these photos? I look big here. And then to him, he's like, oh, you look great though. Can we just move on? You know?
Just get out of the way.
Yeah, you know, like you look great. You look great in my eyes.
Right.
And like they just both need to really understand, like they're looking at each other from their own perspectives. But what a lot of these like boyfriends need to do is realize their girlfriends are entitled to their perspective of themselves. And I just also get a lot of girlfriends, a lot of wives, a lot of people coming out of their relationships who go through that too, where they're like, why do I feel so safe here? I'm like, it's because it's not about how I see you. I'm just here for you and how you see yourself.
Yeah.
Design is a collaborative process. That's what I'm getting at.
Yes.
It's not just you, it's also your client.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it requires the client too to like be aware of themselves to a certain degree, or at least accept. There's a certain level of self-acceptance, a certain level of self-awareness that they have to have. Because if they're totally disengaged from their body and who they are, you almost can't talk to them.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think it's on the designer too to like then ask the right questions to help them become more aware.
Yeah.
Right. But to my post that I made a few weeks back, I gained about 20 pounds really quickly. And it was like due to some family stress, and I also got into a lovely relationship.
Oh, he calls
happy weight.
Hey,
happy weight.
Me too.
I'm
shedding it now after Korea, bro.
Yep. It's a mix of healthy and unhealthy stuff that went into like a body transformation that I couldn't like resonate with. I couldn't like accept and say, wait, this is such a huge change. Like I didn't know how to feel about that. And so I made this video telling people, this is what's been happening. I've been wanting to make this video for an entire year. I've been putting it off. And it was me just shirtless. And I was like, man, this feels very vulnerable. But
It is
I was
very
like,
vulnerable.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I was saying, dude, I've been the biggest bully to myself once again. And, but let's do something about it. And I go to show like this mirror selfie practice that I do, where it's really just like focusing on different parts, where I really just like, it's almost like an art exhibition. It's just like my collarbone. And I just use my phone. It's a very simple thing. But the main takeaway from that I communicate is saying that you can be on a journey of change if you'd like. You can be, here's the journey of change, whether it's diet, workout, whatever it is. It can be this way. You can also have your journey of self-love, right? Like that's like some like spirituality and like mentality shifts, all that kind of stuff. You also don't have to be on any of those journeys.
Yeah.
Right? But there's always something you can do about it. There's something you can do about it.
Okay.
And what that helps me with is understanding that, yeah, I'm not there. I agree with that. I still have my body goals. And one day I want to see six-pack abs on me. And that's an ambitious goal, but I want it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I should rob myself of beautiful photos. That doesn't mean I'm not the loving person. I'm not the passionate person. That doesn't mean I'm not an attractive person. So what can I do about that? And I think people sometimes get it wrong. Like they see me being so inviting, and they think I'm like such a like body positivity person, where I don't think about those levels, right? I'm not the one to rebuke you if you say, oh, like I want to look thinner. I'm not the guy to say, no, you must love your body. No, you don't have to. Like I'm not there. I still have my goals.
Yeah.
But I know it will take time. And if I do it the healthy way. And my self-love journey too, that's a long way too. Like it's an everyday thing. And our bodies will always change.
True.
So I'm like, how can I meet myself halfway? How can I like help me?
Yeah.
And it's just reminding myself like through these little tools, these creative expressions, the idea of play and saying, yeah, I can look good. And just those little reminders to ground me back down as I am on this like journey.
I love the practicality of how you think through all these different things and you share that with your audience, because there's a quote that I've been loving last like half year. I think it's from Steve Jobs. It's being dogmatic is living by other people's thinking. And I think a lot of people, especially on social media, they were captured by some type of philosophical view or some great like teacher, and they're like essentially disciples and students of that, and they're not leaving enough room for just being human. But being human, like I understand now why you need to be so specific and tailor-made to your clients, because everyone's body is different, everyone's quirks and their background informs how they move and how they look and all that. So that's great. In regards to your bread and butter, portrait photography, I remember doing some research and you saying that when you started out, a lot of your clients were like essentially older women, like in their probably like, would you say 30s, 40s, 50s, like what range?
Older 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Yeah. What would you say you've learned from that experience? And obviously, you photograph people from all different age ranges, different, men and women. So how do you like? Especially, I feel like for guys, the idea of portraiture is like if you're a king or a noble, like back if you're thinking like Game of Thrones or like like freaking English, like I don't know, regnal history. But then you do something that not only is it very modern, but it's also very approachable. So how do you unpack that?
Oh man, I mean, going back to what I've learned from photographing so many different people, it's believing more that everyone is different, and I just have to. That's why I keep saying serving. I have to serve them to their fullest, to my fullest, and never assume. I just can't assume. And this kind of also goes back to Marco, your question about do I believe someone truly can be unphotogenic? That kind of goes against my belief, right? Like my belief is that every single human being is a work of art. Like we're all like unique. We're all one of ones.
Yeah.
And it is up to us to define that. Like we are like living, breathing artwork. And how can we show up to our own museum and surround ourselves with people who will come to our museum to value us? And that's up to us to define. So yeah, no, it's hard for me to say like, oh yeah, someone's really unphotogenic, because there's something we can do about that. Yeah, someone maybe won the genetic lottery and they're up there like, they fit the Eurocentric beauty standard, and it's like, okay, great. But we rewind back a few timelines, it might be different, right? So like, yeah, you can win that genetic lottery, but again, it's up to us in our lifetime to find how we position ourselves, how we create and express ourselves, and then of course explore our identity. Yeah. So, having photographed lots of people is just understanding even more, everyone is so different. There is no best pose for everyone. There's no best pose for a certain body type or a certain race or a certain ethnicity, certain height or certain gender. Yeah. Because that's just boxing people in. No one wants to feel boxed in, right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of artworks, like I'm just curious, like I don't know how much time we got left, but like can you explain like your whole like look today? Like and the jewelry. There's so many like things I want to ask about.
Whoa. Yeah, layers upon layers. Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So like, was it a silhouette? You're just like, today I wanted to keep it like grayscale. Like my color palette is a little cooler. You know, because
I just know we had a gray couch. Like,
I don't know. It just doesn't work. It's still monochrome right now. It's kind of fire.
Yeah.
I did have one thought today was I wanted to like feel like I'm floating around.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Like I just want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't want to be cinched into like the suit or anything.
Okay.
I just want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I want to be able to like talk.
Dope.
And then thinking about the whole somatics thing again too, I'm like, what is gonna allow me to relax? Yeah, because obviously I want to have a great conversation.
Yeah.
But if I think about having a great conversation, then like I'm like, watching everything I'm saying.
True. Yeah.
But there are certain things that affect that too, right? It could be my clothing. It could be the company I'm with. You guys could also possibly make this stressful, but you haven't, right? So I think it's about all of that, and I was considering my clothing.
Sick. Is that a Mariner? Are those Mariner links? You know what that is?
No.
I think that's the style of chain. Not that one, the one above it.
Oh.
Is that nautical themed?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. It was cool. And I was like,
did you just like? Are they all from like one place, or did you just kind of collect them over the years?
Collecting, thrifting a lot. Very Silver Lake Echo Park.
Nice. Are you going to Silver Lake Flea a lot?
I do.
On top of the parking deck?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Dang, bro. Okay, I go there pretty often. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also been another way to like really just show myself and explore me.
Yeah.
Try all these different things at like a very affordable price. Say, I don't think I'm a beanie guy, but I can get this beanie for like $5.
Yeah.
Why not?
And I'm like, oh shit, I just changed how I see myself and my belief that I can't be a beanie guy. Now I'm a beanie guy.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Sick.
Wow.
All right.
So would you say like, because it feels like your life and what you do is so involved. It could be probably like exhausting emotionally because you're dealing with people and their quirks and their backgrounds. Like, what do you do to unwind and like, yeah, me time essentially?
I don't have a lot of that. I don't have a lot, but
Spoken as a true entrepreneur. Yeah, for sure.
It is emotionally like taxing a lot, and like my girlfriend can see it, and my like, team can see it. They can visually see how emotionally stressed I get.
Yeah.
But then when I'm serving someone, like that's when I show up fully.
The cape comes on.
Yeah. So I think it's like I try to reserve a lot of that energy. So whenever I am supporting someone, I come out fully that way. But when the cape comes off, I'm like, oh man.
Do you still play volleyball?
Ooh.
Okay.
No, I've been thinking about that. I've been getting more volleyball on my TikTok.
Really, bro? I
play?
just recently discovered volleyball like about 7 months ago.
How?
So a bunch of my friends from church, and like we play. Like,
Are we sending out a public invite to the world right now?
I don't know, but like anyway.
Every time he's mentioned church, you would always glance at me. I'm like, what?
Oh no,
I can't help it because when you said you grew up like going to a Hillsong school, I'm like, oh wow.
No, okay. The group is chill. Hey, I'm just telling you the origin story.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of chill, like
they're a cult.
chill Asian. Oh my god. Actually, it's all right. Actually, we don't play volleyball.
They call it volleyball, but it's something else.
But anyway, we just started playing like on grass.
Yeah.
And like a few friends were like kind of just teaching clinics like how to just set and like
Sick.
hit the ball. And I don't know, it's become like an obsession, dude. I play like 2-3 times a week.
Really?
Yeah, like randomly in Glendale.
Oh, shit.
We play in an indoor
indoor
gym. Yeah. And then like we'll play grass. We're playing Terasaki randomly during the week. Terasaki Budokan, the Budokan.
Little Tokyo is a local institution. Basically, like it is a community-funded gym based out in Little Tokyo. So
I have heard about open gym volleyball there.
Yeah.
Shit.
So I mean, if you,
Hey, I might come out then.
yeah, I'll get your contact and I'll let you know.
Oh shit, Marco, you coming out?
damn, I guess
Now you
three's
have
a
to,
crowd.
bro.
Oh, okay.
Yo, his
sure,
hands out, bro.
sure.
You gotta accept it.
I don't know if I can confidently. You're gonna give me.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
Hey, bro, you can. And on Sundays, y'all, we go to LA Historic, so you
What's
could
that?
just. LA Historic is in Chinatown.
The
They're
big
like-
public park, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we hang out. We play in grass. So
Wait, are you one of those Silver Lake elitists that only know like
only-
the rich parts of LA? I was like, what is LA historically? What is Little Tokyo? I don't know. If this
I was like, I swear, I named all these places because they're around us. Like, I'm not asking you to go to OC, bro. I'm asking you just 15-minute drive radius,
You know, people who live in LA, they only stay in their pocket.
Yeah.
it's like,
That's so
aren't
funny.
bananas $10 each these days? But anyway, allegedly.
Yeah.
But yes, I would love to come out. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
that'll be a
I know
good
I just
way.
asked you on a
Yeah.
podcast, but like I genuinely, it's genuine. Yeah.
Cool. David, it's been amazing having you on. Honestly, like, I don't know if we'll ever have a pastor on the podcast, but this honestly felt like a very pastoral conversation. Like, because the amount of care.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
I see. There's a lot of care in the way you.
It's not just the Hillsong link, but yeah.
I know.
The-
Outside, even if you never mentioned that, we probably would have said that. It's like, yo, this is very like. What's the language we use in church? Like shepherd like or
very missional.
Yeah.
Spirit, yeah. Like,
Very like I don't know.
God breathes. Yeah.
something
breathes.
very like communal in the way you operate. I respect that. No, for real.
I went to Easter service. I haven't gone to Easter service in forever, but I was seeing the pastor speak at that time. I was like, she sounds a lot like how I did my TED Talk.
Oh,
There's that element. Yeah.
okay.
I grew up my entire life going to church, and I was
Yeah.
like, I guess it's influenced me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's like this moment in my TED Talk where I'm like, what do I say? Something about how it's a declaration of self. And then she said like the same, like declaration of something.
And people were raising their hands.
Yeah, I know.
Love it.
Maybe I'm starting a cult.
Oh, legit. Love it.
Yeah, your studio fountain cult.
Yes.
Right?
Where is
Come drink from the fountain of my studio.
Yeah, where's your studio located?
It's in Silver Lake.
Silver
Oh,
Lake.
Yeah,
perfect.
So
Okay.
I work a lot, so I don't
Copy.
For sure.
Copy,
That's
copy.
home.
Yeah.
We do have a gift for you as a first season guest on the show.
Hey,
Local GODZ hat, baby.
Hey, I like blue.
Yeah.
Actually, it matches your outfit.
Yeah,
kinda
it does.
well,
Dude,
Yeah,
I
you don't
like
have to
it.
put it on now. I know you did your hair. But
We're done now. So
okay.
For sure.
Sick.
And we like to end with 3 questions.
Oh,
with all of our
yeah.
guests.
Okay, so question number 1. Where do you consider home
where do I consider home?
geographically?
My body.
Let's go.
See, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was like, he's probably gonna
We
say
get a
something.
lot of esoteric responses. Right? We need to say geographic at this point.
I know you're like you beat me to it. You're like, wait, he's gonna say some weird, ambiguous shit. No, I guess it's LA. Yeah,
LA?
geographically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in LA, if your friends come to visit, where is like a go-to food spot that you always recommend? Like 1 or 2?
It's gotta be some sort of Korean food.
Okay.
I realize a lot of folks grew up having K-barbecue the wrong way in America.
Explain. This is
Okay, yeah, this is actually fascinating. Yeah.
Like a lot of people get introduced to K-barbecue in like the budget way, which is like all you can eat.
Yeah.
Like college,
Sure.
you know, like
Yeah.
you're broke and you're like, oh, I want to like eat a lot of meat.
Yeah.
K-barbecue sounds
Eat my
nice.
weight in
Yeah.
brisket.
Yeah, I'm gonna like make them go broke.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna eat all of it up. But then when they do that, they don't enjoy everything else that comes with K-barbecue.
Like
that
the
makes-
banchan or-
yeah, the
Facts.
banchan,
That's
all the
true.
stuff.
That's legitimate.
Even like soups, you know, they're like, oh, I don't want to fill up on that. But then like when I show them to how to actually have K-barbecue and like we select the meats, right?
Yeah.
Like, now I can like afford to not do all you can eat and
Right.
like choose like the meats that I want and say, oh yeah, let me like grill it for you, right? And then like, oh, you put the kimchi on the grill, that makes a different flavor. And you go for a wrap, and let me make a wrap for you and my like preference. And then all that kind of stuff. And you're like, wait, I didn't know all this shit existed beyond the meat.
Yeah.
So anyway, long answer, but I think K-barbecue has been a good go-to and just like showing them the culture.
Yeah. Which one? Like, is it K-Town?
I've been going to Pigya a lot.
Oh, it's relatively new.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
It's
Very
just-
cool.
They just make it easy. The combos are a really good price.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring out so much shit.
Oh, okay. I haven't been to Piggy yet, but I've
Let's
heard.
do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it maybe after volleyball.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
There's still a lot serving in what you're describing, even though you're not an
Again,
employee of
yeah.
the restaurant. It sounds like you might as well be a waiter, bro.
Yeah. God damn it. Enneagram type 2. Type 2
And the
shit.
third question is, what is at the top of your music playlist right now, currently?
Ooh.
What's on rotation?
A bit of Hosier.
Oh,
Okay.
take me to church.
Yeah. God damn, all this church
I
thing.
know, dude. There's a church thing happening right now.
Even though it's like the whole song's like against Christianity,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Ironically, yeah.
And then a lot of Benson Boone.
Okay.
I've become
Yeah.
a big fan of Benson Boone.
Dude, him doing backflips on stage is like crazy. Like,
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But his songs, my girlfriend was like, I was playing it for her, and she was like, why does this sound like a Christian song?
yeah. I agree.
And he does have like
Absolutely.
a big Christian
Does he?
background.
Oh, okay. I'm not
Sounds
too
like-
familiar. so-
Yeah. It's just like a lot of like chill, like a lot of vocals and stuff like that.
What about like Illenium? Are you into Illenium?
No.
Oh, bro. Really? Interesting.
I was just trying to get on the sounds like churchy music train.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
Illenium had like this, like, I don't know. People thought it was like Christian EDM.
Really?
or something. That was kind of like a meme for
Yeah.
like years
I'll
ago.
check it out again.
Oceans, that EDM song.
Oh, shit.
Dude, don't listen to this guy. Yeah.
Young and free.
yeah.
Young and free.
Oh, yeah. Have mercy. Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, before we go into our Bible study, just want to wrap up with where can people find you if they don't already follow you on
Yeah.
socials?
David Suh on most places. I couldn't buy my handle from David Suh on Instagram, so it's David Suh Photo.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It's freaking other David Suh out there.
Did you message them and be like,
I did.
Oh.
He's also Korean because Suh.
Oh.
he's also a photographer, but he's a dentist. So his parents are probably a little bit
And
more proud.
he was just like, nah. Did he respond at least?
We went back and forth.
Oh, come on, David Suh.
It's fine.
Do right by your boy.
man.
No,
Dude, you could change yours, dude.
no. I think there was some like miscommunication in between, but it's fine.
Oh.
Yeah. I have a blue check mark, so
Yeah,
that's
okay. It works.
Yeah,
True. Fair point.
All right, well,
You can find me there.
for sure. Pleasure having you on the podcast, and yeah, let's do volleyball and Korean barbecue sometime.
All right, let's do it. Thanks again.
Yeah, peace.
Peace.
Hey.